Hello everyone, this is Priyasha Das from CrackZat, and in this series we'll be covering up 15 most important logical reasoning topics which you can expect in all the OMETs. Also the ones who are preparing for any kind of an placement examinations or something like that, job interview examinations. This will really help you because the primary 15 topics of logical reasoning like coding, decoding, blood relations, direction sense test, series, etc. would be covered in this series. And currently these videos are definitely targeting towards the leftover examinations for MBA as well, like XGMT, CUET, and CMAT, etc. But the folks who are watching it in, even a day before the examination would be as helpful as it is currently. And the ones who are watching it before few days the examination, the purpose of this video is that within 10 to 15 minutes the entire concept would be clear right in front of you, crystal clear. And once you watch this video and then try to do the questions on your own, the topic will appear much simpler than it was earlier. Okay, so let's get started with coding decoding. So coding decoding goes by some rules and principles, like the position of the alphabets really helps you to get the questions faster, and there are various ways of remembering it. For example, the first rule is ijoti, which is none other than the table of 5. So if you can remember the sequence of ijoti, then you can quickly find out that the position of O is the third number in the table of 5, which is 15. Similarly, we also have one more which is called as Sifil Orux, which is a table of 3. So again, the same thing. If you remember the position of any alphabet over here, then getting its place value becomes extremely simple. The third one is DHL PTX. Okay, so this one will be DHL PTX, which is the table of 4. And so again, the positions would help you drastically over here. Moving to some questions which you can do. Now look, one thing which I want to make very clear to you people is that there are various other interesting ways of remembering the place values. If you have time enough, let me know. I can make a detailed video on that as well, where for example, if someone asks you what's the place value of L, where if you say 12, then in the word 12 the L is very, very prominent, so you can remember that it is 12. Similarly, G, if you just write G like this once in your life, you will remember throughout your life that the position of G is the 7th alphabet in the series. And just like this, there are many interesting and nice ways. For example, I actually in cursive writing looks like 9, so it is the 9th letter. And so like this, there are many interesting ways of remembering the place values, because see, I'll show you in the very first question how the place values would help you to do the questions, but I'll tell you the approach using some examples. So have a quick look. The first question is on your screen, guys, and I want all of you to try it on your own by pausing it, and do comment below in the comment section to show or mark your presence. I would love it if I can see my students actually practicing it in the comment section. So here comes the first example. If Sikkim is coded as something, what will rain be coded as? So what's the direct approach? किसी को भी इस तरह के questions को कैसे solve करना चाहिए? The first thing which you should do is the first letter should be related to the first letter in the second part. Remember, this is called as the sample in a question. So आपको sample से पहले logic निकालना है. First you are supposed to find out the logic from the sample and then apply that logic in the given real question, that is rain. So here, what is the logic? I'll try to relate the first letter with the first letter. So S is the 19th letter and T is the 20th letter. So I can very clearly see that we are moving one step ahead in the alphabet series. But when I go to the second letter, that is I, here the second letter becomes H. Now here's a change. I is 9 but H is 8, and that means we are doing a -1. So abhi to hum +1 kar rahe the, abhi hum -1 kar rahe the. There's a change. Just to observe it, I request all of you to try the third and the fourth letter also, and you will feel that KK is once written as a L and once written as a J. That means hum ek step aage badh rahe hain, +1, and then again going back to -1. So I get the logic from this part, and the logic comes out to be +1, -1, and repeat. So if I apply the same logic to rain, the first letter is pretty simple. You can say that R plus 1 would be definitely S. So therefore S will be my answer. I can eliminate two options clearly. But then comes the part which is a feature of alphabets that you can actually rotate around in the alphabets. That means A to Z and then back to A is the way how we count in alphabets. So if someone is asking you to do A -1, they are actually asking you to go back in the alphabet series to Z, and therefore my answer automatically becomes option B. Okay, that is the approach how you should target these questions. But this is only type 1 of coding decoding. There is another coding decoding type which includes fixed values. Now just now we learned that E is the fifth letter, right? But in this question if you observe, then we are giving the position of E as number 1. So जब भी हम E use कर रहे हैं हम उसकी जगह 1 लिख रहे हैं. When this happens, we get an idea that we are actually using fixed values. Instead of going by the actual place values of A, I am moving with the fixed values. So how to go and do these questions fast? I'll only tell you the shortcut because the original process is pretty simple. आप A को उठाओ, you take the A and then see which letter or number comes in place of A. So the answer should start with a 7. So this is the way how you'll do 1-1 question. Answer below in the comment section and let me tell you the shortcut. The shortcut is RR. There are two letters which are same, so there should be two numbers which should be same in the second and the third position, and there is only one option supporting this, which is option A. So with this I clear cut idea is that A is the answer, even without wasting 30 seconds more on it. Fine, that makes sense. Great. Let's go and try the third type of question. Now the moment here you look at this question, you see like, what, the entire 6-digit letter, I mean 6 letters word has become or has been coded as a single number. What are we supposed to do here, ma'am? So here the logic is pretty simple. The logic goes by counting the number of letters. Okay, so if I count the number of letters, it comes out to be 6, but the number associated is 5. If I do the same thing with this, I get 8 letters, but the number associated is 7. So I can find out a relationship pretty clear, which is -1. So number of letters -1 should give me the answer. Now let me tell you one thing very clearly, that logical reasoning has no syllabus and logical reasoning has no limitations on what kind of logic can come in the exam. So how can we actually do it possibly in the exam? The only way is practice. The more you practice, the more types of logic you will come across, and the more type of logics you come across, the more your mind will open. So I'll always recommend you people to try it. अब आप पूछोगे कि कहाँ से practice करना है मैम? So please go and check the latest pinned messages on my Telegram group, guys. I have told you the place or the folder's name where you can go and try the books on logical reasoning as well. Okay, so questions are very selective over there. Try the level 1 type questions and that will be enough for you for this exam. Now if I go to government, let me count 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So 10 minus 1, my answer should be 9. Make sense? Okay, let me quickly take you to another very easy concept, which is called as substitution type of questions in logical reasoning. So they say that orange is called as butter, butter is called as soap, soap is called as ink, blah blah blah. What would we use to wash our hands? So in this type of question you have two answers. One is the correct answer of the question, that is what do we actually use to wash the hands, and then the other type of question is the coded answer. So of course it's a part of the coding decoding question, so हमें coding answer की ही जरूरत पड़ेगी. So now comes two relationships. One is called as is called, which is there in this question. So what do you need to do? What is your answer? Comment below, okay? And let me tell you what happens in is called. Take a very simple example. Suppose my name is Priyasha. So this is my real name, okay? Priyasha. Priyasha is called as P, okay? So Priyasha is my real name, which is on the left hand side, and P is my coded name, which is on the right hand side. So here the real answer of washing hands is that of soap, and whatever comes on the right hand side of the soap is my real, coded answer, which is ink. But there is a slight thing which you need to consider. That is, this question can also be written in the form of means. So if I replace all the is called with means, then the answer would no longer be ink. Rather, the answer would change to, comment below, the answer would change to butter. Why? Because means is when you write the coded answer on the left and the real answer on the right. So for example, I say Priyasha is called P, and someone comes and asks me, who's P? What do you mean by P? So I'll say P means Priyasha. So now Priyasha is on the right hand side, that's my real name, and P, my coded name, is on the left hand side. So whenever you have the word means, go on the left. Whenever you have the word is called, go on the right. So if this was replaced by means, my answer would be butter, and if it is written as is called, my answer would be ink. This is one tiny thing for you people. Now the last type of question which will cover up our entire coding decoding is this. Now this is where most of the people go wrong, and they think that just like fixed coding, the first code on the left hand side is the first word over here. But if you see, in the first sentence, it says ka is equals to you, And in the very second sentence, ka is the third code and the third word is very. This is not pretty possible, right? That you cannot have a same code denoting two different words. So this is not the logic actually. The logic is that you have to identify which word is repeating in which sentences. For example, if I take the question seriously, that means are. My first step would be to figure out where in which sentence do I find are. If I see thoroughly, I only find it in sentence number A. So I know that my answer would either be ka, pu, ya, or B. So definitely le is not my answer. Okay. Now coming back to how to identify the word are. I know that the word are is not getting repeated in any of the other sentences like B, C, or D. So that means the code will also not get repeated. So I'll start eliminating. I can see ka is getting repeated, so ka is not my answer. I see pu getting repeated, so pu is not my answer. I see any other word, ya getting repeated, and so ya is also not my answer. My answer is B. So for the words which do not get repeated, getting the answer is pretty fast. But what if I ask you, tell me what is the word's meaning ka? So for that, I will target the sentences which have a ka in it. For example, this sentence has a ka. This sentence also has a ka. So which word is the one which repeats in both A and B? Well, if I see carefully, I see two words repeating. Very and intelligent, very and intelligent. Here I see ya and ka repeating. Do I see an extra ya, guys? Yes. Ya is here and intelligent is here. So I get an idea that ya is equals to intelligent and ka automatically becomes very. So this is how you're supposed to find out the code of each and every word very simply and very easily. And with this, within few minutes itself, I completed the entire topic of coding decoding. After watching this video, you can target any question on coding decoding which comes in the exams like XGMT, CUET, CMAT, etc., etc., and many other OMETs. Also good for your placements as well. Placements in the sense the companies which ask you for a written test. Okay, so logical reasoning section can be done with it. Just like this, I'll come up with more videos which will cover the other 14 sections of LR as well. You might expect multiple videos in a single day. So for that, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified of every new video dropping in, because there are multiple videos dropping in a same day. Expect that because the exam is close. And yes, most importantly, like the video and comment below, and please share it with more and more people so that the channel grows much, much bigger. Thank you so much. All the very best. See you in the next video.